Good afternoon, guys. We are back again with another transfer Q&A, our final one as the transfer window has slammed shut. With myself to answer all of your questions is Paddy, as always. We'll be looking at the ins and outs and everything else of the transfer window. So let's get into it.
I'm up first. First of all, before I actually ask this, congratulations on the anniversary yesterday. 1 year since Spurs signed a player. Very good. Very good.
And by the summer it'll be 18 months. Oh my.
How good is that? But on that note, because Spurs certainly didn't, who won the transfer window from Premier League Daily?
Who won it? Oh my gosh. It's a tough move. I'm actually going to say Arsenal.
Oh yeah? Why?
Yeah. I think Denis Suarez is an unbelievable signing. I feel like people haven't talked about it enough.
Probably not, but they probably haven't seen enough of him as well.
But I mean, like, he's good enough for Barcelona first team, not a starter. He's a Barcelona quality first team player, and they've brought him in. They haven't let anyone go. Emil Smith-Rowe's gone on loan, means he's getting good experience. I think in the ins and outs section,
Fair enough. I would actually go for Chelsea, and I know that's probably a little bit controversial because Higuain, we'll talk about him in a second, actually probably hasn't shown anything in his first couple of appearances. But I like what Sarri is doing here. He's actually changing the squad into one of his own making. So, Victor Moses is gone, Fabregas is gone, Batshuayi is gone, Pulisic is coming in, of course, and they held on to Hudson-Odoi at least for a few more months, so they've got a chance to re-sign him. So I think Chelsea remains to be seen, and that could come and bite me on the arse, to be honest. Yeah. But it seems like they've had a pretty good window, in my opinion.
Both on the ins and outs, for sure. Right, Rated R Killer, what a name, has said Higuain to Chelsea must be the best signing.
Yeah, listen, again, he's had 2 starts, probably hasn't shown a lot, but it does make a lot of sense, and this is not the first time we've spoken about Higuain on this show. It does make a lot of sense for Sarri. It's interesting to be talking in such positive tones about Chelsea a couple of days after they've just been spanked by Bournemouth, of all people. But I think the moves are good. Higuain looks like it should be a good signing for Chelsea, even if he's not at his peak. Yeah. I mean, they were struggling for a forward. He's definitely the best one in the squad now, so they've improved. We'll see how that goes.
For me, I think it's Batshuayi actually on the best signing, purely because Palace need a goal scorer. I think in terms of making sense, it may not be the biggest. I know it's only a loan.
But at the same time, you wouldn't have kept Batshuayi at the expense of not getting Higuain in. And this is the
absolutely.
The point of this question. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, my turn. And this is a bit of a tongue twister from Rapolis Valaikis. Sorry if I mucked that one up. Who will Liverpool sign in the nearest future, in your opinion? Hashtag love your videos. Love your comments. Thanks.
Who will they sign?
So obviously we're talking summer now. It's almost it's one of the better balanced squads in the Premier League and in European football. Who would they sign?
As for who they sign, I'm not exactly sure, but I think central midfield is a place for them to sign. People love James Milner. I'm a big fan of James Milner. I think he's done excellent, but doing a job or filling in, not quite sure that's going to last, especially when he's 32. Keita's been a massive flop.
Yeah, I think he'll come good, but I agree, he's been underwhelming.
So far, not so good. Wijnaldum's been good this season, as has Fabinho, but I think a world-class attacking midfielder, maybe. I think they could sign, maybe they go back in for Fekir.
Yeah, I think maybe it's actually a bit deeper, to be honest, because one player you haven't mentioned there is Henderson, and I know he's got leadership qualities, and I know he's a bit of a favourite, but I honestly don't think he has the quality for where Liverpool's ambitions want to go. Yeah.
It's a defensive midfielder then.
Fabinho hasn't been too bad either.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Julian Weigl could be on his way out with Dortmund, I've heard. Haven't been linked with Liverpool, but a lot with Manchester City, so that's the kind of player.
There you go, yeah.
I'll go for him. Why not?
You're up.
As for me, the next one is from Sarah Williams, who said English. Oh, English, that's us. Onefootball English. Timo Werner to Manchester United.
So this was never going to happen in January. I think Werner had basically said, or Leipzig had said, they definitely weren't going to entertain selling him. I think there was some interest from Bayern. The thing is that Werner's contract is expiring, not the end of this season, but the season after. So Leipzig know that they've got to possibly either re-sign him in the next couple of months or sell him this summer. And Man United, as Sarah suggested, possibly could be a destination. That being said, I think with the way that Rashford and the way that Martial have turned their form and careers around in the last few games under Solskjaer, I'm not sure if you need that forward again. It's quite a similar player to those two. Very quick, very pacey, reads the game very well, can go wide, can go central, etc., etc. I'm not sure that Werner is the player. I'm not sure those three up front would be the solution. I think the biggest problem for United is that Lukaku probably isn't the man to take them forward as a hold-up forward.
I also think if Timo Werner's available in his last year of his contract, I mean, the number was 36 million, I saw. If you've got a top-class striker going for 36 million, there's more than just one team going to be interested.
Agreed.
I'm not sure Manchester United are top of the biggest shark in the transfer waters.
That might entertain some of our viewers. That particular comment there, Matt.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. There's I mean, surely if someone like that's available for cheap, Real Madrid or Barca are going to be top of the pile.
I could see United being definitely among the top for him, but I just don't think it would suit them under their current squad. Yeah. So my turn to ask now, and I've got from Renui Crooks. Based on history, being so young and a Chelsea player never works out, he's talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi here. It's simple. So he believes he should move to Munich. Do you think that is the future, or that is the logical next step for Callum Hudson-Odoi?
No, actually. I don't. I think the logical next step is to sit with Chelsea and be the best player if he can get the game time. Logic says yes if he's not playing. However, if Sarri sits down and says, look, Pedro and Willian are getting into their early 30s, they're going to be out, you and Pulisic are the future, sure, stay. You're already in the Premier League, no disrespect to the Bundesliga, but I feel like a lot of players' careers are building up to the point where they do join the Premier League, do join the biggest league in the world. Again, no disrespect to teams like Dortmund or Bayern Munich or Juve or anyone outside who are unbelievable teams, but if the Premier League is where you want to be, I can see Hudson-Odoi sticking it out and it being logical for him. Only if he starts, though.
Geez, you're English, aren't you?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
I see your point. I think the next few months will tell. Yeah. Depending on how much he plays, is depending on his chances of basically re-signing for Chelsea, in my opinion.
If he wasn't in Sarri's plans, I feel like he would have taken 35 million for an 18-year-old.
Potentially, yes. Yeah.
It would have been silly not to. Next up is from Arib Siddiqui, who says, is De Jong what Barcelona actually need? They don't really lack quality midfielders.
Now, that's true. They don't lack quality midfielders, but they do possibly lack quality young midfielders.
Yeah.
And this De Jong signing is one for the future. He, of course, doesn't join until next season. If you have a look at their central midfield, Arthur, of course, is one of the younger ones there, but, you know, the rest of them are aging or on their way, you know, into their 30s already. And I think this is why this De Jong signing is a class player. If he continued at the same progression he would have had at Ajax, he would have been more expensive next summer or in a year or something like that. So they've got to march on a lot of other clubs who probably would have come in for this player, and I think this makes sense in the long run for Barcelona. Maybe not immediately, as you pointed out, they've still got a ton of quality with Rakitic, all these guys in there, but I think for one for the future, Frankie de Jong, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's a nice little rhyme there.
I didn't mean
MC
that.
Paddy joining us. I actually think that, on the quick note of Barcelona midfielders, he is the Busquets replacement. They're not exactly the same kind of player, but of the three, he'd be deeper. That's all they have in that position.
Yeah, it's true.
All the rest of the midfielders are all the attacking ones.
Yeah.
If you're looking at Xavi and Iniesta as being the two further forward, Arthur, Kevin Prince Boateng, Rakitic, Vidal, Coutinho, they're all the attacking midfielders. Yeah. It's only going to be Busquets and De Jong, so I think that's a top signing.
Fair enough, yeah, me too.
And just for 65 million.
Just
pounds.
65 million.
if he's there for anything like Busquets for 10 years.
Yeah, fair enough, that pays it back.
Yeah.
So my question from Tottenham Fan Club, who's actually been asking a lot of questions for a few weeks now, so glad to get one of yours in, mate. Spurs, we'll have to beat that one out, should have signed Arnautovic before he signed a new contract extension, and WTF does Pochettino think he is?
Oh, God.
There's a lot to unpack in that.
There's a lot to unpack. First off, it's definitely not Pochettino. His hands are completely tied by Daniel Levy, who, despite what people say, is still acting in the best interest of the club. It's no surprise that 2 transfer windows spent with no money coincides with a ridiculously expensive new stadium.
Agreed.
That's, you can put 2 and 2 together there, so it's not Pochettino. As for Arnautovic, He's a good player, yeah. He's a really good player. He would have come in and made the Spurs squad better for sure, and especially in the absence of Harry Kane. However, 35, 40 million on a 29-year-old from your biggest rivals is not going to happen.
Who's a bit of a pest too, let's be honest about Arnautovic. Like really quite talented, but a bit of a poor man's Ibrahimovic. You don't need that drama. Look what happened with this Chinese move. You know, basically, as he's able to do, said he wants to move to make some more money. West Ham have to sign him for some ridiculous one-year extension to give him more money. Spurs didn't need that.
And Pochettino's big on finding the right person as well as the right player in terms of their attitude, and he wouldn't have fitted in. Great player, but I don't think he would have.
Agreed.
He would have fitted in. The next one up from Sagar Sharma says Real Madrid should sign at least a Galactico.
Now, you and I spoke about this a few weeks ago, and you're of the opinion that they're moving away from that a little bit. I actually like the fact that we have one club in the world, probably two now with PSG, that are just not scared to make a big signing and say, hey, this is us, we can afford this, piss off the rest of it, basically. So I think that Real Madrid are due. We've spoken about Hazard. We, of course, have our bet. I think Mbappe, I think Neymar, I think one of these big players in the next year will go to Real Madrid, possibly in the summer. They want to make a statement. It's been a bit of an up and down time since Zidane has left, of course. I think they want to start afresh, and the best way that Real Madrid know how to do that is by making a big signing.
I think so. I think historically, though, they could offer so much more for Galacticos. They were the club. Right, they were the biggest. They've got competitors now in the market. There are so many teams now who can spend the hundreds of million, and Real Madrid just aren't attractive as they used to be. So 100%. The fact that they haven't
couple of months.
No. But in general, who are they going to go and sign? When you think about all the top players that they sign, they're not signing a rival from PSG, Barcelona, Juventus.
But that's what we're saying they should do.
Yeah, they should, but I just don't think they can.
Oh, I disagree completely.
But okay, back in the day, they managed to get Figo. They managed to get Figo from Barcelona and Zidane from Juve. They are not signing Barca and Juve's best player now.
You're the one who's saying that Hazard's going to be there in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Hazard's from Europa League, Chelsea. Of course, Real Madrid can offer him something more.
One of the better number 10s in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. But the obvious step from Chelsea to Real Madrid is one up.
Guys, you can get involved in this because I think it's clear that Matt and I disagree. Let us know who's right and who's wrong in the comments. But to the next one from Yashesh Shah. Is Poch better than Ole?
Ole's had like eight games at United. I think it's quite harsh to... it's quite harsh to sort of judge him.
We can probably say no at this point.
No at this point. I mean, look what he did with Cardiff. He went straight down with Cardiff, managed Molde in Norway, and then he's got 8 games at Manchester United. I'm not quite sure.
You can say, based on the past 9 games, he is better than Pochettino.
To be fair, based on the last 9, yes. It's probably too soon.
But I tucked that one in just for you, mate.
So next up for me from Kushal Argaval. I hope I pronounced that right. Argaval. What happened to Schalke? They were one of the best teams in Bundesliga last season, but what has gone wrong with them?
So Schalke, I mean, possibly a very underrated team in Europe. I don't think everyone understands what a big club this is in Germany. But it's been a real roller coaster of years for them. They've made a series of pretty bad decisions in the transfer market. The culture of the club perhaps not quite as strong as it was before. And again, going through a lot of coaches with quick succession, really sort of taking out that stability that they had for many, many seasons. And those are probably the key factors with why Schalke is going through this up and down sort of stage. You know, they've got some money, they've got some power behind them. They signed Bril Embolo when he was at the top, of everyone's list. I think Spurs were one. Did his knee within about 5 minutes and has not been the same. They've had guys like Kevin Prince Boateng who they've actually barred from training with the club in the first team. So there's a few things gone wrong there in the transfer market with the culture side of things. These guys are a big club. They've got a young coach in Dominic Tedesco who's going through a bit of a second season blues. They're at a bit of a crossroads again with Schalke. They should stick with this guy, but they need to back him a little bit better with
When you say
time.
Financially, are they financially good for Germany or for Europe? Because there's two different...
For Germany, but that's still not unreasonable. It's still, easily, obviously, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, and then Schalke, and then some daylight. They're still, they're still a big player enough to spend 20, 30 million on the right player.
I mean, they spent 12 million on a City youngster in Rabi Matondo.
Exactly.
So.
But they couldn't find a striker. You know, like, that's the thing, that's where Schalke is at now. They've had to go to the bargain bin. Vincent Janssen was one. You know, all these players that really haven't played, and they couldn't get these guys across the line. So, you know, they've got some issues. They finally got rid of Franco De Santo, the former Chelsea and Wigan legend, of course.
Oh my God, I saw that. Where'd he go to Vallecano, I think? Something like that. Was it in Spain?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Wow.
So Schalke, unfortunately, not at the peak of their powers, and I think they just need a bit more stability there. But it's a bit unfortunate that it's come to this for Schalke, because the Bundesliga does need a strong Schalke to test the likes of Bayern and Dortmund much more consistently.
I feel like they've stepped up Bayern and Dortmund. It's kind of left Schalke a little bit behind.
100%.
The last one is for you.
It's for me?
Yes.
Okay, shoot. Oh, wait, for me to ask? Okay.
For you to ask.
I better get that up again.
I feel like it's almost a redo of the first
from
one.
BL2 to... No, this is different. Because we did Who Won the Winter Window. This is Best Transfer of the Season.
So we're including the summer?
We're including the summer.
The best transfer of the season so far. I've got a few. Definitely Lucas Torreira's up there at Arsenal.
You love him, don't you?
He's a fantastic player.
You love him.
No, I just think he's really good.
You're going to take him out for dinner?
Yeah, one day. I'm going to convince him to join Spurs. Him, and I'd have to go with Alisson.
Good call.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really look any further than the guy who's in net for the league's top side. Yeah, for
me too. I think actually both mine are Liverpool's. Alisson, as you mentioned, changed this team considerably. One of their weak spots for many seasons, for basically every season under Klopp, was goalkeeper. With Karius, with Mignolet not being up to scratch there, Alisson has come in, and of course he's had a few uncertain moments, but that's the way he plays, and has definitely straightened up that side. As has their other signing, Fabinho, for me. Yeah, really come in and straightened up that side. You look at that spine there. That's a team that can win the Champions League very, very soon. Yeah, I have no doubt about it.
Oh, actually, talking defensive midfielders as well, we'll throw in Witsel at Dortmund as well.
Great call too. Value for money. I mean, this is a guy who probably, and all due respect to Dortmund, they're a club that I actually, I do follow very closely here in Germany. But Axel Witsel, through a series of decisions that maybe weren't for football reasons, but were for money reasons, going to Russia, going to China, probably shouldn't be at Dortmund at this stage of his career, at this peak of his career. He probably should be making far more money in the Premier League or at a big Spanish club, in my opinion. It's fantastic for Dortmund that he's there. They've got him for a good price. And he has absolutely changed that team.
He's been unreal. Yeah. I didn't actually watch any of his games in the Chinese Super League, but if he's doing this at Dortmund, what was he doing in China?
No, I think it's a different league. It's hard to
He must have been just ripping it up, surely.
I mean, Paulinho came back from China, and everyone's like, he's been in China, he must be shit. And he was fantastic
really
for Barcelona.
And Witsel. Maybe if Carrasco had come back, he would have been unbelievable as well.
You should go to China, you might come back a decent
I might come back a new man, a new host. Well, I think that is all from us for this week. However, we will be continuing with some Q&As. Further into the season, of course, we'll throw in a few other topics as well, not just all of the transfer rumours. But do let us know in the comment section all the rumours that you've heard. And looking forward to the summer, who would you like your club to sign, and who did you miss out on in the January transfer window? From me and Paddy, though, for this week, that's all we have time for. So we will see you guys later.